So this is going to be an example of constructor invocation. Let me start by adding a couple of classes, and I'm just going to keep it simple. And I'm just going to call this class A, and that's it. And you know what, and I like to make them public for now for my examples. And you know what, I'm going to do class B and a class C over here. Let me just change the name. So all of them, even though they're three classes, all of them are into one C# file. C# allows more than one class to be defined inside a CS file with extension CS. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have class B as a subclass from class A. So this inherits from this guy, and I'm going to have this from class B. So if you look at the hierarchy, and let me just add a class diagram over here. So new item and just the class diagram when I find it. So here it is, and I'm just going to leave it as is with the default name. I'm just going to drag this guy over here. So as you can see, we have this hierarchy, basically class A, class B, and class C. As you can see, they're empty. There's nothing into them. And I don't care about the content. What I care about is something that is really important, which is the invocation. So I'm going to go to main over here, and I'm just going to create an instance, say class C over here. Class C is new, well, just let me call it just C, like that. You know what, small c. Okay, and the because I'm using Visual Studio 2022 with C# version 10 and .NET version 6, the IDE or Visual Studio just had this line for me added. So nothing happens over here. Let me just take off this line or just comment it. Nothing is going to happen. So I'm going to execute build. As you can see, nothing happens, which is fine. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you something really quick. So I'm going to go over here. So as you know, if you create a class but you don't write the constructor for the class, the default constructor will be written by the compiler for you. So if you don't create a constructor, and I'm gonna just create a constructor over here, and the way that you create the constructor again is just to have the name of the constructor, and that's it. So I'm gonna create a constructor over here, and a constructor over here, and a constructor over here. Again, the constructor has be the same name as the class name. And I'm gonna do the following, and I'm just gonna take a console.write statement, and I'm just gonna show you something really quick, which is in this class over here. I'm gonna write I am, you know what, in class C, and I'm gonna take this guy, you know what, I'm just gonna take this guy over here, and I'm gonna paste, copy and paste, and I'm gonna say this is in class B. Same thing over here, I'm gonna say this is in class A. Now why is this important? So here's what's going to happen. Let me show you the execution. So, and before I do that, let me put the windows by each other. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to create an instance. So this is going to be an instance with the reference C referring to this object that I'm going to refer to. I'm going to have created. So once this is created, here's what's going to happen. The class C, and I want you to pay attention, everybody. So this is really important because I get a lot of these questions. What's going to happen? So there is something called invocation and execution. So a constructor invocation is just calling the instructor, the constructor, I'm sorry, calling the constructor. Execution is the execution of the body. So this is the body of constructor for class C, this is the body of the constructor for class B, and this is the body of constructor for the class A. So once I do this, so this is a calling for the constructor of class C. So this is going to get invoked. But C inherits from B, so this is going to be invoked immediately. So and the invocation is going to go from C, then C is going to call B, then B is going to call A. Now this is the invocation. Again, when we create a new instance, So the constructor, this constructor is going to get called, followed by this one, followed by this one. Then what happens, the execution of the body of this one happens first. Then after that, the return of flow of control is going to go to this class over, or this method over here, which is this constructor. Then afterwards to this constructor. So look at it. Invocation, 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 execution, execution, execution. Then we go back. Let me show you. Let me execute and show you guys. So as you can see, again, invoke, 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 followed by execution, which we can see. Let me make this a little bit bigger. Followed by the execution of this guy, class A, then followed by the write line for class B, then followed by the write line for class C. So this is a short video of constructor invocation and constructor execution. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment section below, and please like the video and subscribe.